Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I have a guest today I'm kind of excited about. You may know her as my producer and director and editor. Wait, no, you don't edit. More
No,
like
I don't edit.
more like a creative director. Uh, my wife Dolores is here today, and she said, "Hey, want to do a podcast?" I was like, "Sure." Um, I had this whole thing planned where I was going to talk about aliens
Yeah,
and
okay.
but I mean, I thought it'd be kind of cool. I was like, hey, let's talk about how Congress just said aliens are real. But then my wife's like, let's do a podcast. And I know she wants to talk about what
No, not
she did.
necessarily. I mean, I like doing one every now and then.
I know. So, um, for those who don't know, it is getting closer to Christmas time. And, as the holidays ramp up, there's always, that thought of, did I get everything I'm supposed to get for everybody? And of course,
Who would not know that it's getting close to the holidays?
um, listen, I work with a lot.
Most men who don't do the shopping?
I work with a lot of busy guys, and they're like, "Wait, Christmas? Oh crap, that's coming up, isn't it?" So yeah, it is kind of that thing where you get so busy that you lose track of the days. I mean, making
Well,
it
there's no doubt about that, but somebody's got to do the Christmas shopping.
allegedly. So most of us just try here in this South Carolina area. Most of us struggle through the summer to just survive the heat, and we're like, man, I just can't wait for it to get colder and for there to be college football on. And then college football gets here, and we're like, now I can take a breath because I can finally catch up and maybe do some projects around the house. And oh, I know it's hunting season. Let's go hunting. And so a lot of people go hunting this time of year, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, and we got to get Christmas. You're like, what? Christmas? What are you talking about? Oh crap, that's coming up. So thank you to our lovely wives out there who think about that kind of thing and are on top of it. And whatever you get for Christmas this year, I'm just as surprised as you are. So I'll go. Oh my goodness, you got that for the Christmas? How about that? So thank you,
I've
honey.
always started Christmas shopping early, but then again, I guess because I put Christmas decorations up early. I mean, I'm
We
not
put
saying
Christmas
we
decorations
do,
up.
but I'm the one who says it's time to put Christmas decorations
I
up.
know. Yeah. But also, you do such a great job. So, I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the podcast, but whenever we started dating, I came over to your house. You invited me to come over to your house and, hey, yeah, let's come hang out. I'll make some dinner. I'm like, okay. And I saw your Christmas tree and I was blown away at the level of decorating that you had. God, that was back in 2000 ish,
Was it the apartment or the condo?
the apartment.
The apartment. So yeah, I bought the
Christmas of
condo. The
2000.
condo I moved in the condo in like April of 2002 because I had to wait for it to be built.
Yeah. We're a little fuzzy on when we started dating. We can't exactly
Well,
pinpoint it
because
down.
we saw each other for a couple of times and then we didn't for several for
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was before I moved into the condo. Like I say, I had to wait for it to be built because I had bought the condo. I moved in there in April of 2002 is when I bought that. So it
Yeah.
would have been like
Maybe
just
21.
it was somewhere right there.
Maybe Christmas of
Not
21
not 21, oh one.
or 20. I'm sorry, Christmas of '01.
It
Yeah.
was either 2000 or oh one,
But
somewhere
I,
right there.
I remember walking in and seeing the Christmas tree and seeing the level of detail of things that you had on it. And my first question was, who did you get
Yeah,
to
you asked me
decorate
a
your
little for
tree?
yeah, you asked me who decorated. Who did I hire or
Who
who
did
did
you hire? Did you get somebody to do this professionally? I mean, is there a company out there that does this kind of stuff? And you were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, this looks like okay. So
a
for
floor?
those
You said like a florist had done it.
Well, for those who don't know, there used to be a thing called a mall. And at the mall, there was a store in it called Hallmark. For those who don't know, Hallmark is not just a channel on television, it was actually a store that you could get cards and doodads, and they always
Does
decorated really
Hallmark still
nice.
make greeting cards?
I hope so, because they were really good at it. Or, I mean, they hired people who were good at it. But here in Florence, we had a mall and you go in store, and it was always very festive, especially around Christmas time. There was always Christmas trees decorated to the nines. And it was one of those things where if you grew up in a house where both your parents worked a lot, maybe they didn't decorate the tree as much. They would just toss it up, throw a few ornaments on, and go, "Okay, we're done. Christmas, let's go on. We got stuff to do." Well, I went to your house, and first thing I noticed was you must have spent hours decorating that tree. And I thought, man, I don't have my stuff together because my tree looked like I threw it up out of a box. I think at the time I was using a 6 foot tree because that's all I could afford. I think I got it for $45 at Walmart, and I bought some ornaments that were like 12 little tiny shiny balls inside of a box at the dollar store. I think I had 4 or 5 boxes of those. And
And then everybody, and you
I
used
don't
like,
even think I used lights the first time. I think it was just the bulbs on a tree.
and most everybody used the garland. That's that fringy looking garland and icicles. That's what most people, that's how I grew up decorating a tree. And I've never, since I've been an, on my own, putting up my own trees, I've never one time used the fuzzy garland or icicles. So
So what I think what you're referring to as fuzzy garland is the bright shiny stuff that
tinsel, what people
it
call
looks like
tinsel.
people put around like boas. It looks like
Yes,
that,
that, yeah,
real
yeah.
shiny, fluffy. Yeah.
I've never
I've been
used that on
guilty
a
of
tree.
using that.
I've never used that on a tree.
Because
Oh, we use that as a I that's the only thing we ever decorated with.
yeah.
We used the lights,
Now,
balls that you would the Christmas bulbs or balls, whatever you want to call them, that would come in multi-packs where all of them were the exact same shape, size, just different colors. We
yeah.
would use those. We would use the tinsel, and then we would literally just coat the tree in as many icicles as we possibly could. Looking back, though, the kids now see, I've always decorated my tree. When our kids were home, they really didn't. I mean, they would help fluff the tree out, but we had boys. Boys having zero interest in that. I mean, let's face it, I'd have to pay them some extra money just to help me get the Christmas decorations down out of the attic and put the tree together and fluff it up. And then after that, they were gone. Yeah, give me my money. I'm out of here, lady.
I think Jacob enjoyed it.
Yeah, but he, like I say, the minute he was turned loose, he left. But I mean, I don't know. It's it's aggravating when I'm in the moment of trying to drag all that stuff down.
Well, and it's also like that when you're in it and you're doing it, you get kind of creative at times and something magical happens out of it and it looks great and people compliment you on it and they're
Well,
like,
I
"Oh
do
my
like
god,
the
that's so
after.
nice."
I go through all of it for after, and I've
Yeah.
always decorated early. I've never been one. I maybe one or two times we've waited until like right before Thanksgiving. I have always had my decorations up by Thanksgiving. I don't usually hang the wreath out on the front door until the afternoon after Thanksgiving lunch. But the inside has always been decorated prior to Thanksgiving. Now it seems like I am trying to get it up even earlier by Halloween. This year, I don't think we made Halloween. I think we did like the weekend after. But we've also hosted a Christmas party for 3 years in a row um, for my work, and we needed to be decorated super early. This year, we are on vacation the week that we normally do the Christmas party at work, so I am not hosting that this year. And it has been kind of, I did not do as much decorating. We didn't do as much decorating this year, but I like getting it done so that you can actually enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's one of the things is, when like I said, when I first saw your tree and I was blown away by it, you were like, no, 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 I did all this. The I wish we had a picture of what it looked like then, and I'm sure we do somewhere on a digital file. We just got to find it. But just the layers of things that you had on the tree, and I remember you telling me one time, you had a friend who owned a floral shop, and she told you that if a little looks nice, more looks better,
Mm-hmm.
and there was layers to it. So the first year that you and I decorated a tree together, I got to see what that meant. So it is layers, it is time, it is a lot of care and attention, and stepping back and looking at it and going, does this look right? We need to redo this, and it's giving a crap about what you put up because you want it to look nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever think about it, when you go into a nice store
Yeah,
where there are trees decorated, if you'll notice, I mean, you don't really see that much of the actual tree. I mean, there's so much stuff on it. I mean, that to me, that's what. Plus, we've been collecting ornaments
right.
for years.
So let's explain that to the people listening. So, for those of you who don't know, my wife and I have loved going on vacation and going to places and having experiences. And we don't buy each other Christmas presents or birthday presents or anniversary presents or any of that stuff because after a while we realized, hey, this is kind of a rat race that we're running and we're just buying stuff we don't want or don't need. And it's just silly. So instead, let's use our money towards what we really want, which is experiences together, which is our trips. So on our trips, we've made it a point of buying a really nice ornament from every one of our trips. And so now, whenever we're decorating the tree, we have a whole bunch of experiences that we get to relive and talk about and sort of remember as we go putting stuff up. And it turns into a memory the older you get. I mean, we've been married now almost 20 years, and it's one of those things where as we're putting stuff up, it's nice to unwrap them and go, oh, remember we got this, we were in this, and this happened, and it was, oh man, that was so nice. We should do that. We should do something like that again. But it becomes a tree of memories. It's not just a decorative thing in the corner with a bunch of doodads on it. It's us. It's our family. It basically. I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of ornaments that are just the one,
yeah,
you want one piece, and that's when people see my tree and they're like, what makes this look the way it does? Why is it so different than? And it's because we don't. There's only a very few ornaments that's on that tree that there. Occasionally, I'll buy two of something
yeah,
like a set, but very seldom do I do that. Now it's just one ornament, and I mean I probably put more money into one ornament than the average person would. But the reason I do that is because that's all we may only buy, and we've kind of cut back. I mean, I know that we don't need to continue to buy ornaments every single place we go. I've tried hard to be a little bit more because we do go to this. I mean, like Disney. I said this when we were putting up the tree this year, and I meant it. I am not buying Disney ornaments for myself right now. If I when we go in a couple of weeks for our vacation, will I buy an ornament? Yes, I absolutely love shopping for Christmas ornaments, but I'm going to try to tailor it at a little different for a while because we don't need any more on our tree.
yeah.
I
Our
want
tree's
to
kind of
buy
maxed out.
Yeah, I
I
want
mean,
to buy for the grandbabies and
yeah,
for their future, for things like that. I mean, I want to, if I'm going to spend the money on ornaments because I like shopping for ornaments, then I'm just going to give them away as gifts.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, like I said, I mean, we've had 20 plus years
Yeah,
of buying ornaments of memories,
yeah,
and
right.
it is one of those things where I don't know, somewhere along the way, we started getting ornaments as presents from people because they were like, "You like ornaments? Here's an ornament." And I'm like, "Okay," but that's not the point. I mean, the point was we were putting up our memories, and you know, I like the fact that our tree is our family.
Yeah,
It's basically a reflection of what we've done. And you and I talked about how, whenever we started decorating together, I grew up in a house where mom was the main breadwinner, and she just would throw a tree up and be like, "All right, it's up. Let's go. I got to go to work." And it was just all in a hurry, and you said, y'all just throw up a tree and throw some
yeah, we
icicles
were
on it and
busy. I mean,
tinsel, and
we didn't have any money. Number one, number two,
yeah.
my mom was working two and three jobs
But to
because it was
me,
just her and us.
this tree and this attention that you put into it, um, to me, reflected the type of home that you build, the care that you put into things. You often say that you're not the touchy feely type, but you are. You do things like that to create a home, and it matters, and it's I noticed, and it made an impression on me. So I'm not saying that I'm with you just because of the tree, but it was a good starting point. It was a good launching
I
point.
do like to get the decorations up and be done with it because
So
so
yeah,
that we can enjoy it.
yeah, and it's nice. And I mean, I work with some younger people, and I've told them our story about what we do with this tree, and why we do it and why it matters to us. And they're like, "Oh, I want to do that." And I'm like, "You can.
You can, you
You're
just have it,
young."
but you also have to realize that in the beginning when you first start, I mean, we
We
had
had a
this,
lot of years where it was just one or two ornaments that were really special to
yeah,
us, and
and
then
I hung them right up front,
yeah,
right front and center.
yeah, and then each vacation we would go, "Hey, let's get an ornament while we're here because this is kind of cool. We're on a trip to South Dakota or
Thinking
Hawaii or
back, we
something."
went to Chicago this year.
We didn't need to.
We did not buy an ornament in Chicago this
We didn't
year.
need to.
I just
We
thought
got
of that.
plenty of
See, I am
ornaments.
getting better at this
Yeah.
already.
See? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that little attention to detail that is special to not only to you and me, but other people notice it too.
Yeah.
And whenever they're here, they all comment on just how beautiful it is.
Well,
And
this year
it is.
I scaled way back this year, because we're going to be gone for, 10 days or something. We've got a week long vacation, and then we
Yep.
normally go to my mom's right after Christmas. So this year there really was. I used this year as a year to replace a few things that needed to be replaced.
Hmm.
And so instead of going all out on a couple things, I kind of scaled way back. Next year, will probably be a little bit different because, chances are really good that the Christmas party for my work will come back here, because I don't know that we're having one this year. Um, and it's crazy, I mean, it's crazy planning that and putting that together, but I also enjoy it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just me. It's who I am. I like having people over.
Yeah.
I like having people over. There we actually saw a t-shirt. I went shopping this weekend, which we'll talk a little bit about that. With some girlfriends. It's something we do every year, but we saw a t-shirt and one of them were like, they were like, D, this is your t-shirt right here. It said, I love I love visitors, something along the lines of, I like to entertain, I like visitors, but you got to be gone by 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's accurate. But yeah. Too bad it's not another kind of shirt. You don't wear t-shirts.
No,
But
no, like I said, they were like, "You look at this, D, this is you." I was like, "Yeah, that is
if
me."
they'd have made that a racer back gym shirt,
Yeah.
you'd have been all about it. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
But switching gears, I just
We
came
we
back
we're
from.
decorating.
I had a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Actually was off work Friday. I went to. I go every year. I've been going since 2010 to the. It's called Southern Christmas Show, and it is in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is a vendor type show. It is massive, and most people, when you think vendor shows, this would be what you and Danny describe when you say, when you go to the Jeep Invasion
Yeah.
in Pigeon Forge,
Yeah.
and it's hundreds and hundreds of vendors.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is what the Southern Christmas Show is. It is massive. It's three massive buildings that are connected. It's right across the street from where the Charlotte Hornets play.
Okay.
What is that's the
The ovens,
the
the
Bojangle.
Bojangle Ovens Arena.
Okay, that is, this building is right across the street. It is several buildings that are connected, and by like little fairway three ways, where you can tell that they have it set up where they could use one building for something. But this is three massive buildings, and I've been going every year. I don't know how long this Christmas show has actually been, how long it's been going on. I do know that I started going with people from work, girls from work, when I in 2010. I have not missed a year except for the COVID year. They did not have it the year of the COVID year, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a lot of walk. It is a lot of people. It is very crowded. But it is every kind of vendor, and it looks like Christmas exploded. I mean, they do a fantastic job when you first walk in. Businesses will decorate like little tiny areas. You can do you can make it a bedroom, or you can make it the living room, or the everybody, these businesses, I guess, like sponsor, and they decorate. And I mean, it's just beautiful. The minute you walk in the door, actually, when you walk up to the building, they take the columns of the building, and every year they do something different with the columns to decorate them. This year they added these. They were huge, massive nutcrackers this year, and they added like these facade looking things to be their arms.
Hmm.
But these are the round columns that, I mean, the round columns that are on the front of a massive building, and they decorated them as nutcrackers. They were really cute this year. Like I said, they do something different every year. We do VIP parking because we're bougie like that. Actually, you pay like $10 to park. Normally, you pay $20 to VIP park if you get there in time. VIP parking means they pull you right up on the sidewalk to the front, at the front of the building. The valet takes your car. The cool thing about it is, to me, it's worth the extra $10 if you get there early enough, because when you get done shopping and you are loaded down with packages, they pull right up on the sidewalk in front of you. And we do that every year. So this year we decided to go on I always go on a Saturday. This year we decided to do a Friday, see if it might not be as crowded, and yeah, still crowded. Still crowded.
But it goes for like 2 weeks, you
It
said.
it does. It always starts on a Thursday and then it runs consecutively and until the not that Sunday but the next. So it's usually about 10 to 12 days. And it's I don't know, $18 to get in, and you can spend it's not something that you go in and you in an hour or two blow through it. It's there's too many people for you to go through it that quickly. But there are a lot of repeat vendors. And I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, just roughly, I would say there are at least 500 or more vendors there. There's probably more than that, but there's a lot of repeat vendors. We go every year and we look forward to a few things that we are, and a lot of them get the same exact spot every year. I've been going since 2010, and there are some spots that are filled with that same vendor in that same spot every single year. Now, the decorations are different because everybody decorates their booths different. Some are double booths, some are triple booths, depending on what they're selling. But, and then we'll look for certain vendors that we want to see that we saw the year before. And
Right.
you see new ones, and they actually have they have like markings. Every year, if there is a new vendor, that vendor's booth has stuff around like a, where you can tell this is a new person to the show, to the Christmas show. We've never been here before. Our product, which tells me, our product and what we're selling is totally new to the show. But we love it. I mean, I shopped Saturday. We left Florence Saturday morning. It doesn't open until 10 a.m. every morning. It runs from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day that it's open. We left here Friday morning at like, I don't know, 7:30, drove to Charlotte, stopped and grabbed us a coffee and a little breakfast sandwich. We were there probably by 10:30. Valet parked, was in the door. We shopped until I want to say like 3:30. We actually had planned to spend the night in Charlotte, so we had a hotel room already, and we left there at 3:30 and went to the room. We had absolutely nowhere else to put any more packages. Our carts, we use little shopping type carts, pull behind carts, and they were loaded down. We had some canvas bags that each one of us had on our shoulders, and we were tired, so we went to the hotel room, kicked back for a couple of hours. We were back at the show, grabbed a bite to eat. We were back at the show probably around 6:30, and we shopped until 8:45, and it was a full day. And we didn't buy as much the second time around. The show definitely thins out the later the day gets. So by 8 o'clock, you're not fighting the crowd. But I love it. I love it every year.
Now, I know you said that there are certain ones you look forward to seeing. Which are your favorites?
Um, oh God, I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I mean, I do look forward to
I know your favorites.
the pickles.
Yeah.
The pickle.
What's the pickle company? What are they called?
Well, I mean, the pickle company that's there now, the last 2 years, there's been a different pickle company than the one that was there previously. For years, there was some guys, and you can look up the names of where they're from. I had actually looked them up. There was a booth that were men, and these were, I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype anybody. These were massive, big guys. You could tell they had a bit of an accent. Um, I'm not sure where they were from, but they did the pickles they had 5-gallon buckets, and their booth would be so busy because they would have different types. They would have like honey mustard pickles. These would be like the pickle slices. And they would have jalapeno, dill, or kosher. They would have different bread and butter, you name it. They would have multiple and different kinds of pickles. And they brought these pickles in 5-gallon white buckets. People would stand in line to try it. A lot of the places, well, all the places that has food, they actually have samples. So people would stand in line to taste them. Then they would get in another line to buy them. And they were dipping these pickles out of these 5-gallon buckets into smaller containers and selling them. And every year, all of us, I mean, I usually go with several different girlfriends, and I've been with a crowd as much as like me and 5 other women, and you definitely have to have a way to bring all those packages back home.
Yeah.
But we would all of us would buy pickles. We love it. I mean, now the last 2 years, there's been a smaller vendor, and they only have like 4 different types of pickles. But every year I buy pickles. Are they overpriced? Sure. I mean, you pay $8 for a, you know, a I guess maybe like a pint.
It's a quart.
It's a quart, okay, but it's just part of the experience. I
Yeah.
mean, I love getting the pickles there. There's always I'm trying to think. There's always the meat, the meat and cheese people have not been there the last 2 years.
No.
So I mean, you see the same booths over and over, and then you don't, and it kind of makes you wonder, okay, why are they not here? Or COVID changed so many things for the small business.
Was there any wineries doing their
Oh,
thing?
most definitely. The winery part of it has turned into what used to be a couple of small booths, has turned into massive. Duplin actually has one section, and they decorate the front of theirs. They're actually like in a, not a building by themselves, but they have like a walled off room, and the front of it is built, a facade is built where it looks like a storefront,
Mm-hmm.
and they decorate it, and they have the biggest winery there. They have more of a presence than any other winery.
But a lot of like local
Oh,
wineries
yeah,
have come there.
Uhari. There is this year there was a Uhari winery,
Mhm.
and we actually went up to them and talked. We usually do the wine tasting and buying last, because they're so packed in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
We do the shopping experience a little different. I would like to think, after this is my 14th year, well, 13th year with COVID. We don't go in and start in the beginning like everybody else. We go in and we go as fast as we possibly can. This is like Disney World walking straight to the back. We go to the very back corner, and we start at the very back, and we work our way forward. The one good thing is, a lot of vendors, if you buy something big or bulky, they will hold it for you until you're finished shopping. And that comes in really handy sometimes. We've done that many times to keep from filling up the cart too quickly.
Just like Jeep Invasion.
I don't know. Is that how y'all do it?
Well, I mean, if you get something big and bulky, they can either hold it for you for later, or they can mail it to you.
Well, yeah, anybody can ship to you, but that costs more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, also when you're doing Jeep parts, sometimes the mailing they'll just do free because it's part of the show.
yeah, but we do. Like I said, we always save the wineries for later.
Yeah.
And Duplin has the biggest presence, but I would have to say there's probably at least 10 wineries
Okay.
that are represented there, and they have all their bottles will be out front on the counter, showing you all the different kinds. There'll be multiple people from that winery working behind the counter. They use the little portion cups, of course, to give you taste and let you taste stuff. They will let you taste as many of them as you want.
Now,
can you get drunk? Yes, you can.
last year you came back and you were nonstop talking about these silicone bowls.
Yes.
And you said
it's called flat stacks.
Flat stacks. Okay. So
I did not buy flat stacks last year, and 2 of my friends did. They were a little pricey, and I was like, not just no, but no, I'm not buying plastic bowls that cost that much. So I did what anybody else will do that's going to try to figure out how to do it the cheaper way. And I ordered some from Amazon, which were a piece of crap. So what you heard me say for the last year? What did you hear me say all year?
I am buying the good ones when I go next time.
I am buying the good ones when I go next time.
Well, also, I mean, the quality of it is really nice. I mean, the feel of it is nice, and the sturdiness of it is way better than the cheap Amazon versions of it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you definitely get what you pay for. And, there's nothing to fault you for trying to do something on the cheap, but it didn't take us long to figure out, this is the cheaper version.
This is the cheaper version. Now, I will have to say, I do not know how these compare. I've just got them.
Right.
And last year, one of my girlfriends spent she spent a good bit of money, but now also too, she bought for herself and both of her daughters.
To me, this is the same quality of stuff like Tupperware was back in the day, or Rubbermaid whenever they first came out with their versions of containers. I know my mom came home with, I'm sure everyone had it, the either olive green Tupperware bowl with a little press seal thing on the top, or the orange one that just wasn't an orange you normally see in nature.
It's called Harvest Gold.
Okay, it's called. I'm sorry,
Avocado green and Harvest Gold.
Had that wrong. Those things would stand the test of time, and I mean, I know we had one for 20 plus years, and it was just indestructible. And it was,
yeah, Tupperware was a
when
brand.
my mom came home with it, I remember there was a huge, huge fuss in the kitchen about, you paid how much for a bowl?
Yeah,
and then this thing lasted forever. We couldn't kill this thing. I mean,
No.
they were awesome.
Yes,
And
Tupperware is still around. They're not as popular as they were when we were kids. Tupperware in Hemingway, I think South Carolina just closed just recently. But Tupperware is always at the shows. There's always a massive Tupperware booth there. And heck, we have 2 1-gallon tea pitchers that we make tea in that are Tupperware. They are awesome. I would never consider buying any other kind of pitcher, container to put my tea in, because I grew up with Tupperware for the container that you put your tea in. And we have 2 that we've had for 20. I know one of them's over 20 years old because I had it when I met you, and I've bought one since.
We've got 3 total.
We have 3. We have got 3 total. That's right.
Because remember, we went through a phase where we were doing Kool-Aid also.
Yep.
And so,
but now these flat stacks, we will see. I've done the research.
Hey, your girlfriends have had theirs for a year.
Yes.
They say it's held up to everything that they could throw at it. So I'm hoping this is going to be the fix for that.
Yep. And I do know they will. Actually, the lady that was there last year is the lady that was there this year. She didn't remember us. I didn't expect her to. That's what she does is vendor shows.
Oh,
I can't imagine how many thousands of people she sees. Yeah. But both the girls, the ladies I was with, I mean, they had, one of them had a lid that she was having a little bit of trouble with, and she didn't bring the lid with her. And the lady didn't just hand her a bowl. I mean, a lid. She handed her a complete bowl and lid. And she was like, here, I will replace. I mean, she didn't even ask her for proof that she had bought it there last year.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other lady I was with, she was like, I'm having one bowl. I have one bowl that it has a smell, a silicone, because they're made out of silicone, however you say the word. They're made out of that. And she said, none of my other bowls, because she spent a good bit of money last year too. And she was like, do you know what size it is? And she pointed to it, and the lady said, here, take the bowl.
Now, if you look up flat stacks, they're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap. It's sticker shock.
This is one of those things where you get what you pay for. And we learned that from trying the cheaper version. So if you're out there looking for some, you want to try it, just be prepared to pay. But is it worth it?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean,
we're going to find out. We'll talk about it probably next year when you're like, hey, it's been a year. Oh, I still have those things, and blah blah blah. I mean, we'll kind of update you guys as we use them and let you know about it.
They're not supposed. They're stain resistant. There's several things that I know 2 people that's used them for a year now, and they love them. So I was like, okay.
My first impression right away was the lid was better construction. It was or the rim around the top.
The whole body thing is better. It feels totally different than the cheap ones from Amazon.
It just feels sturdier.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a show that I love going to every year. I do buy some Christmas presents there.
And you've started getting some of these seasonings that I like.
Yeah.
We've tried a few of them. Every year there's new seasonings that come out, and we've tried a few that I've really enjoyed, and it's nice to be able to replenish all that. But yeah.
But now there's a lot of name brand. I mean, the company Bundt, the Bundt cakes. Bundt, like the big fat Greek wedding. Bundt.
It has a hole in it.
It's a Bundt cake. The Bundt cake people, they have, that's a chain. They're there. I mean, there's a lot of chain type things that are there. But it's just fun. It will definitely.
With it being a Christmas show, do they have people selling Christmas trees?
Yes.
With like the lighting technologies and stuff?
Yeah. Do we ever spend time on that? No, but yeah, there is a vendor there that they're in the same spot every year. That's what they're selling as Christmas trees.
Because I know a year ago we were having trouble with our tree with the lights
Mm-hmm.
because of a short. We have one of those pre-lit trees with the micro lights, and it's supposed to never go out or give you any trouble with lighting. But of course, that's fake because
Well, yeah,
the wires are the smallest wire you can imagine, and of course they get little kinks in them, and then the lighting wants to go out. And this
yeah. I need
year,
some suggestions on how to store a Christmas tree.
maybe if anybody has suggestions on a type of tree that makes a better wiring system, the one we have, it's got to be like 26 gauge wire. It is the smallest wire. It's almost just a little bit larger than your hair. And of course, it gets folded up into the box, and then of course it gets a short in it. And this year, as we were putting it together, we played with the wires enough to get wiring to work. So, um, we added an additional 500 lights this year, which I think was nice. I like the colors.
Yeah, I did something different this year.
Everybody
But
comments on, "Ooh, that looks so pretty," especially the blue. I don't know what it is about the blue, but the
um,
blue is really brilliant in pictures and in person. But
but now I've got to, now I'm still buying Christmas. Now I've got to take the time to wrap all that I've bought already.
yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's another whole beast. But
So when I do the podcast, you guys are going to start seeing a table behind me on a regular basis
yeah,
because this is our wrapping area. She does all our major wrapping in here because it's got a lot of space. But yeah, so I want to talk about how technology sort of let me down this week.
oh,
Yeah. I woke up one morning and I'd already gotten a notification on my phone that our Ring doorbells needed to be charged. And I wish there was a way I could like wire these things in permanently because it's a pain in the butt to constantly have to charge these things all of a sudden. But I charged them. We got them back up, and then I noticed there was 3 lights sitting on the counter that needed to be charged.
yeah.
Those are these under the counter lights. They're nice lights. They're motion sensor. So as you're coming to the kitchen, if it's dark, it lights up so you can see where you're going or see the light switch or whatever underneath the cabinet. So in case you're trying to find something that lights up and your hand goes under there. All 3 of them need to be charged same time. I was like, okay, well, let's get those charging. Go to use the sink. And of course, we wanted to have the touch faucet that we have to tap and it turns on, which is, listen, I'll admit it is a nice feature you get used to.
Yes, but it uses a lot
But
of
it
battery.
uses 6 AA batteries. And when they go out, your faucet doesn't work, which is a pain in the butt. And all of a sudden, they decided they wanted to go bad at the same time. And then our fire stick decided not to work. I mean, it's
All in one morning.
like all of a sudden, like, yeah, Friday morning, all of a sudden, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Come on. And I was like, if I go out here and my car doesn't start, that's it. I'm going back to bed.
What, Friday morning, all your creature comforts
everything that
quit.
was supposed to work was suddenly giving me trouble. And I was like, you got to be. And then as I'm fussing about it, I hear one of the fire detectors in the hallway chirp, and I'm like, oh, come on. On top of it, I was having an issue with my eyeball. If you guys are looking at YouTube, my right eye, the bad eye, had a sty in it. I never had a
Not
sty
in
before.
it, on it.
On the eyelid, on the top of my eyelid. So
a sty is a blocked tear duct, I think we read.
Yeah, blocked oil gland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, with all this going on, I just feel like I'm going crazy because there's so much to do and I'm falling apart. And so you were going out of town, and I told myself, you know what? I don't care what happens this weekend. I'm gonna stay home. I'm just gonna stay home. I need to not do nothing but sit on my butt. And other than going to the grocery store, that's what I did. I just sat here and just relaxed. And I got to tell you, after a few days of that, I feel pretty great. So,
well, I've been wide open since all week.
Yeah,
all week.
I'm
ready for some downtime, but it's not going to happen for a while.
This was my downtime weekend. Matter of fact, I had a visitor. My mom came to visit, and Danny called, and I called him back and didn't get in touch with him. And he told me later on last night that, oh yeah, I needed some help with something in the garage, but I took care of it. And I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't have time to even answer the phone. I was visiting mom. But sorry, Danny. Normally I'd have jumped up and been over there, but yeah, I was just talking to her and he never called me back. So anyway.
Yeah, that was whenever because I got home from Charlotte, unpacked everything, and then went to the local vendor show.
The dinky one.
The Jingle Market. Yeah,
that's sort of like us going to Jeep Jam versus Jeep Invasion.
Yeah.
Jeep Jam at Myrtle Beach is just sad. It's just
the
it's a lot of
it's
flea
like going
market.
it's the comparison of if you go to Disney World and then you come back and you go to the rides at the beach, Myrtle Beach. There is no comparison.
Our thing at Myrtle Beach, a Jeep Jam this past year, to us looked like a bunch of flea market
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
And
exactly what Florence Jingle Market looked like.
yeah,
It looked like a flea market. Now the Southern Christmas Show does not have that vibe at all.
yeah, yeah. So again, um, sometimes it pays to go to where the big stuff happens just so you can have the big experience.
Yeah, I'll go every year until I can't go anymore.
All right. Well, I know I'm going to wrap this up because you're looking antsy, and we've done enough time. But I do want to, I do want to say one thing.
Okay, say it.
There was a House committee thing that said that unidentified anonymous phenomena, UFOs, basically, are out there and they're real. And go check it out because there's a 2.5 hour actual hearing on C-SPAN that's online on YouTube and everywhere.
I would rather watch paint dry.
I'm just saying.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
It's pretty fascinating. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to learn about soon, and
I don't want to know.
there's that argument too. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the ostrich approach.
It's not an ostrich. I got too many other things to worry about other than there being other intelligent life out there other than what's on Earth.
What if they make a better Christmas tree?
It doesn't matter. We can't get it here.
What if they?
I mean,
right now it's underwater. Apparently they live underwater. But what if they make a better Christmas tree? I mean, come on, it'd be worth talking to them. Be like, hey, so how'd you figure out the lighting part? And they're like, all you got to do is this. And you're like, oh, finally.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I'm good.
no.
Yeah,
right.
I'm good.
It's worth asking. So anyway,
I'm good.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
It is. I get weird when I'm by myself because I just watch a lot of TV stuff, and it gets progressively weirder. I did watch the Wolverine and Deadpool, which is
Was it good?
kind of neat. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it. It's one of those that there's so many jokes layered upon layered that you catch on to it as you watch it. If you're gonna watch it though, you got to watch it with the captions on because he says things so quickly. You're like, what? Wait, what? There's jokes all throughout it that are just so much. There's so many. So anyway,
and there's of course, we got a lot going on in politics right now.
What?
And I would like to say, regardless of which party you stand behind or who you voted for, doesn't matter. Chicken Little, the sky is not gonna fall.
Yeah.
We go through Democrats being in charge and we go through Republicans being in charge. And at the end of the day, there's no reason to let it ruin your life for 4 years. I mean, we get up, we go to work, our taxes come out, we buy our groceries, we go about our business.
Weird how our taxes just never go away.
It doesn't. I mean, I've been doing this. I've been voting since my first election was 1984. I was 18 years old, and I turned 18 in 82. And I mean, has my party that I've always voted for gotten office? No. Have they? There's been times they were. There's been times they didn't. What did I do? I got up every day, went to work.
It's funny how they never come and pay our bills.
I mean, it is what it is.
It'd be like being a fan of a football team and they don't win, and then you get sad.
Well, I mean, it's just that actually that's a good analogy. It's like football.
Yeah.
Sometimes your team wins, and sometimes your team don't. It will change.
And it doesn't affect your life overall.
No, I mean, it's your things will be the same. You're still going to get up and go to work. Your children are still going to depend on you to take care of them, which you're going to do. And in 4 years, there'll be a totally different crowd.
Yep.
For the next 4 years.
And hopefully, if nothing else happens, Robert Kennedy Jr. will make our food safer for our children.
Like I said, I don't. I mean, it's.
If nothing else happens, he's not going to rest until that's done. So at least we got that to look forward to. So.
I mean, we all know in 4 years, everybody what all will happen in 4 years will just be completely reset. Every 4 years, we reset.
I always think about the line in The Matrix whenever what's his name, Mr. Smith has Neo, and he goes down to him. He tells him that humans are a virus and blah blah blah, and he says something about blocking out the sun because they rely on solar power now. And he said we have levels of survival that we're willing to take. We don't want to do that, but we can. This past week I did a speech about Veterans Day, and in the Marine Corps they taught you there's levels of existence that you can do, and it's not pleasant, but you can do it. Life is sort of that way. I mean, we live very affluent here in America. We're very lucky in so many ways, and our election, is one of those things where people have asked me, aren't you afraid that this is the end of democracy? And I was like, we live in a republic. Our Pledge of Allegiance says to this republic for which it stands. It's a republic. We are lucky to vote, but it's a representative government. That's back when we used to have horses go off to Washington to vote on behalf of their constituents. It's still a republic, and it's always going to be a republic.
Horses went to vote.
Our horses carried people. Our representatives.
Oh, okay. You had me confused there. I thought you were saying that the horses voted.
They couldn't just hop on a plane and fly out there.
Well, no.
It was, hey, we're going to send our representative Bob Jones, and he's going to travel 3 weeks to get to Washington so he can vote for our people and what we believe in.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, that's never going to change because there's too many things in place to make sure those people never lose their job. But we live in a republic.
I kind of picture it like like a computer, like a big, massive operating system.
And every once in a while, you got to turn it off and turn it back on.
Every 4 years, we do. Every 4 years, we do. Well,
oh, look, it's a new operating system.
Yeah, every 4 years, we do.
Why isn't my Facebook working?
Every 4 years, we do. We turn it off for 2 seconds or whatever, and then we turn it back on and it reboots. Every once in a while, it goes 8 years.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you get an 8-year time, where you get an operating system in and we stick with it for 8 years, and then we unplug it and we start again.
And once in a while, you get a virus.
And every once in a while, you get a virus. Yep.
That's a good analogy.
And you just unplug it in 4 years and you start over.
That's a good analogy. I like it.
I mean, it just depends on if you go 8 years with an operating system or not. But 8 years is the longest you'll go with an operating system.
So I got faith.
I do too. Guess what I'm going to do every day?
Go to work.
I'm going to get up when the clock goes off and go to work.
Yeah.
And they're going to take the money out of my check and give me what little bit's left over, and I'm going to figure out how to make it work. That's it.
Thank you for being my partner.
Yep. You're welcome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm done.
I'm done.
You got nothing you want to promote?
No,
not this time. Okay.
Not this time.
All right.
I just got to make it. We got to make it. How many days? How many more days we got to make it till vacation?
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
We're gonna
be a surprise.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna miss us. I mean,
they're gonna be like, "Where's the podcast this week?" And we're like, "Live from Disney."
21 days.
Hey.
Except I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be gone next week. Just overnight. I'm going to see Pink.
I gotta burn 3 days of vacation.
I'm going to see Pink.
I'm jealous.
Wednesday night. Can't wait.
Jealous.
I'm excited.
I'm jealous.
I'm super excited.
I'm super jealous.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I need better friends.
It was my Christmas present from Cheryl. Cheryl gave Lori and I Pink tickets earlier this year.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're getting your Christmas early, but we're not going until November. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited over that. I don't know who opens for her. It starts at 7:30. I know that she's not starting at 7:30, but we're actually taking Thursday off work because we know that it's going to be a later concert. So we're going to stay right there. Actually, we're staying walking distance. She's in Columbia when we see her.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Super jealous.
Yep.
Have fun.
I'm sure we will.
Maybe we could call a podcast about it next week. You can talk about it.
We just might. They say her concerts are amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, listen, we've watched
she's the one that does the acrobatic stuff over the audience. Yeah.
We watched I've seen documentary about her thing?
Yes.
And she does like 2.5, 3 hour shows.
I'm looking forward to it.
Kind of like, Carrie Underwood did.
Yeah.
Just a really good long show. Yeah. Of course, if you're spending that kind of money, you want a long show.
Yeah, and I think she's one of the ones that does. I mean, she does way more of the acrobatic type stuff over the audience. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool.
I'll let you know next weekend how it was.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too, baby.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.